All right, we had a very funny signings, couple funny running back signings, obviously with Saquon Barkley going to the Eagles, and now Aaron Jones, Packers player who's been very good for them for quite some time, been a fan favorite for quite some time. Now goes to the Minnesota Vikings, which like if you're the Vikings, a 1 year $7 million deal just for the memes almost feels worth it. But I actually think this is kind of a smart move by the Vikings in general. Let's take it from two sides. I never made a video on why the Packers cut Aaron Jones, so we can talk about that real quick before we get into the Viking side of it. I mean, I will say, I think Aaron Jones has still been good. Like, last year it still had 4.6 yards per carry, which is good. Like, his numbers were still good. They were down, right? The playing time was down, but the overall statistics were still very good. If you look at Pro Football Focus grades, you see that he had a very similar grade to what his career average is. He's right around where he usually is for his career, just the lower snap count, obviously. So for Minnesota, a 1 year deal is kind of like taking I think it's kind of a nice flyer to take on someone like him. Now, for Green Bay, I think the reason they're making this move is Aaron Jones is 29 years old. He's a running back. You're getting a younger running back in Josh Jacobs. I think that's their logic is let's try and get a little bit younger at a position that you usually need young guys to succeed at, which makes some sense. I don't think that like it's a crazy move to try and make here. And when the Aaron Jones contract was signed in the first place, kind of one of the big benefits of it when we looked at the details was, oh, this is a contract they can kind of get out if they want to later on, and that's what they decide to do here. So I totally understand the logic here for Green Bay to say, look, let's try to get this other running back. Now, again, there is the risk factor with Josh Jacobs, right? And I talked about that in my Josh Jacobs video about just, Jacobs is coming off of a bad year. So, what's to make of that? Maybe it was a bad situation. I don't know. For Aaron Jones, he's not coming off a bad year, I would say. I think he's coming off a pretty solid year. So from the Vikings' perspective, who are in a very unique spot at this point, without really a quarterback, they added Sam Darnold, obviously, but I don't think that's like a long-term solution or even a short-term solution. I think that's just to get a guy in the room. I think they're probably going to draft somebody, might not be in the first round, but I think they're probably going to draft somebody, would be my guess in this situation. But for where we're at right now, it's like, I don't know. Aaron Jones feels like he'll be a fine player, that you are in a rebuild now if you're Minnesota, because yes, there might be a quarterback away, but a quarterback away is still pretty far. But, it seems like a fine 1 year flyer to take on a guy, and there's the benefit of it makes Packers fans mad, which if you're a Vikings fan, you have to like a little bit. So, I don't know. It's just an interesting signing here, interesting situation with Aaron Jones. But those are my thoughts on all of it. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.